Animals, just like people, have bad days too, but the only difference is that sometimes they need our help to get through their bad days. Today, we continue the column with the 10th part about the most incredible moments in which animals ask people for help. Be sure to watch this video until the very end so you don't miss out on the most touching rescues. The man on this boat couldn't believe his eyes. A beautiful heron got tangled in a piece of fishing net and apparently had hung there for quite a long time. At first, the heron was understandably very frightened and resistant, but when she realized that all they wanted to do was help her, she began to relax and wait to be saved. And now, a few minutes later, the man completely freed the heron from the net. But before flying away, she decided to take a second to thank her rescuers. Locals found a baby hippopotamus in a rapidly drying pond in southern Kenya. The tiny and weak hippo was left without his parents and spent many days in the mud. The rescue team took the hippo to the field headquarters where it was washed and fed, after which he was taken to the reserve. And this stuck little kitten had to literally be knocked out of this wooden trap. Careful and painstaking effort paid off, and the kitten was soon rescued. A huge hook with wire caught this little elephant. The rescuers had to act quickly so as not to harm the baby, and here it is after its long-awaited salvation. This guy on a motorcycle saw a baby kangaroo who fell out of his mother's pouch. He wasn't sure if the baby would survive or not and decided to try and find his mother. But when all of his attempts were in vain, the man decided to take the kangaroo to the animal rescue center himself, where he could be given the necessary assistance. This amazing story with the participation of some brave people who are not afraid to rush to the aid of a wild bear. This unfortunate bear got his head stuck, and if not for the help of these guys, maybe would not have lived. An entire rescue operation was carried out to rescue this giraffe. A local resident found deep wounds from a wire loop around the neck of the animal and immediately called the rescuers, who came to save the day. The rescue of this giraffe took place in several stages. The animal had to be put to sleep first in order to unravel the wire and treat the wounds, and only after all that work was done, the giraffe finally returned to his normal life, despite the injuries he received. And in this video, we have heartbreaking footage in which an anaconda attacked a domestic dog. Fortunately though, the owner and his friends were not taken aback and were not afraid and managed to rip the snake away from the dog just in time. And as a result of this, no one was hurt. Next, we have this little tamarin frozen in place in horror. Fortunately, the desperate cries of his mother attracted the attention of passers-by who noticed the baby. And just look how happy the mother is when a man came to her aid. Without these simple actions from a person, the baby could have died on the road. A panicked dog called for our help when she saw her puppy fall into a deep canal. The puppy urgently needed help, and luckily, these good-hearted passers-by sprung to action. But the miracles for this dog didn't stop here, because the owner decided to take her and her puppies back home. This couple rushed to the rescue after hearing the meow of a cold and hungry kitten. And suddenly, they found another kitten hiding from the rain. Thankfully, there are good and kind-hearted people like this all around the world. This hero rescue team arrives to rescue a drowning dog from icy waters. The residents of this house heard sounds in the backyard and found a small rabbit trapped there. After being rescued, the charming rabbit wowed everyone with how cute he was. These kind-hearted people helped rescue ducklings that were swept down the drain due to strong winds. This is what real human kindness looks like. This man saw a deer who had been stuck on an icy lake, grabbed his antlers, and pulled the deer to safety. A crying kitten was rescued from a sewer tunnel. This man was not afraid of either dirt or confined spaces and went down to save the kitten. Due to a high amount of poaching in Africa, the number of black rhinos is critical, and animal rights activists are forced to transport rhinos to nature reserves just to keep them safe. These poachers are interested in rhinoceros horns, which are incorrectly believed to relieve many diseases, and their approximate cost is more than $1 million. Before the animal is transported, it is put to sleep. During transportation in boxes, rhinos suffer from a muscular frame, so the transportation occurs mainly by air. And just a heartbreaking rescue of a dog with a crushed bone in its leg. Most likely, he was hit by some driver who just left the dog and drove away. Veterinarians were able to save the animal, and despite the amputation of its paw, the dog feels happy with his new family. These men saw a deer in trouble. Unfortunately, deer often find themselves in such situations, and at such moments they can easily be torn to pieces by other animals. Despite the powerful antlers of the deer and its resistance, the guys managed to free the beast from the trap. It seems that this mother cat just wanted to catch some fish from the nets, but unfortunately, she managed to entangle not only herself, but also one of her kittens. This feral cat was not used to human touch, so it was not easy to catch her, but now the whole family is alive, rescued, and completely healthy. In this video, a cub is stuck in a coyote trap, and despite the close proximity of the mother bear, people still came to the rescue. And here we see an armadillo that managed to get stuck in the flooded part of the Wasita River. Armadillos usually cannot swim and cross rivers by traveling along the bottom. Therefore, the armadillo clearly liked a short trip by boat to the other side of the river. What would you do if you noticed a stranded snake? I think a lot of people would be afraid to touch it, but this guy definitely was not. For some reason, the roe deer just needed to get through that fence, but it got stuck. As a result, this woman even had to show some of her parkour skills in order to save the animal. And if you happen to know the difference between roe deer and deer, write about it in the comments down below. This dolphin calf ran ashore and could not swim back into the water, but fortunately for him, this girl came to save the day. This bird caught on its wing, and as soon as the man freed it, she thanked him and flew away all on her own. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more content just like this. See you next time.